everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, Starseed Astrologer and Spiritual Messenger from SacredSoulEmpowerment.com. Here to do your weekly angel card reading for Monday, February 18th through Sunday, February 24th, 2019. For this week's weekly reading, for the main message for everyone, we'll be using the Angel Tarot deck by Jane Wallace. And your special message card this week, depending on your stone of choice, will be coming from the Crystal Angel deck. So I can't believe it's already going to be February 24th. And of course, this is a short month. So via next week's reading, we're going to be moving into the month of March already. And isn't it just flying by? But let's go ahead and take a moment and look at your stones of choice for this week. Okay, so for the first stone of choice, we have a beautiful moonstone. Now, moonstones can come in a little bit variety of colors. This one's a nice creamy, milky kind of white color. And the moonstone is a stone of the inner goddess. It's a symbol of fertility and sensuality. It is a stone that connects us to our intuition, and it helps to open up the heart chakra. All right, your second stone of choice is rhodonite. And rhodonite is a pink stone, and actually this one, rhodonite is pink and it's got black inclusions, and this one has, you know, a lot of black inclusions, but also a lot of speckling of pink. You can see the pink on that little corner there. But the rhodonite is actually a stone of compassion. It's a stone of forgiveness. It's a stone of releasing fear. It helps with emotional healing of the heart chakra, and it's actually known as the rescue stone in relationships. Okay, meaning that it helps to assist in healing relationship circumstances. And then your last stone of choice is this beautiful fire agate. Now, the fire agate, and you can see it's got some orange, it's got some red, it's actually got some white in there, and even a little bit, such dark red that it almost looks black over here. The fire agate is interesting because it's both grounding and inspiring. If you think about red as the base chakra, the root chakra color, it has that grounding energy, but again, that fiery element is very inspiring at the same time. It's a great stone for spiritual awakening. It gives us courage to follow your path. So giving one courage to follow their life path, destiny path. All right, so again, your stones of choice for the week are the moonstone, the rhodonite, or the fire agate. So let's talk a little bit about the astrology for the week. Monday is a really, really busy day astrologically. There's a lot going on Monday the 18th, and we start out very early in the morning with Venus, the planet of love, relationships, as well as the ruler of finances and money, personal resources, and it's connecting with Saturn. And Saturn is the planet of limitation, restriction, but also structure and form and responsibility. They're both in the sign of Capricorn, which is an earth sign. A sign that really speaks of one focusing on their ambitions and their goals, is usually with their career path, life path, who they are out in the world. And this happens so early Monday morning that those of you watching this early, and I mentioned it in last week's reading as well, that you're going to start feeling this on Sunday, potentially even Saturday, previous to Monday the 18th, you'll be feeling this. And this can do one of two things, because again, Saturn can be a heavy, kind of restrictive kind of planet. It is the planet that rules karmic lessons, and so therefore he's known as the great teacher. But again, he's also about responsibility. Now this can be, added responsibility and taking responsibility for who you are and what you're doing. But it's also that planet that gives us a sense of groundedness or structure, and he helps with manifestation. So this can actually aid someone with their career path, their life path, their goals, working towards step by step what it is that they're trying to accomplish, being recognized for who they are and what they have to contribute to the outer world. So that can be a very positive aspect. However, on the other hand, that kind of sometimes limiting, restrictive influence of Saturn can almost weigh us down as far as relationships. There could be some sort of karmic challenges with relationships, or karmic challenges with money and finances, or again, just a need to have added responsibility or attain added responsibility. You know, there might be some sort of situation that comes up to where you need to like take charge and be more responsible with something, or even with your feelings as far as that goes. And because, you know, Venus also rules money, again, this can help or aid in some sort of manifestation or security matter as well. So, you know, we're not sure until it actually comes, you know, on Monday. And also, of course, it depends on your mindset and your belief systems and what you've been believing or working towards as far as how that's going to manifest. Now, some of the other things happening on Monday the 18th is that the sun will be making its transition out of Aquarius and into the sign of Pisces, a water sign, a sign of unconditional love and compassion, forgiveness, selfless service to, you know, other people. That, you know, the sun does that every year around this time, moves into Pisces for about a month. Chiron, though, this is very kind of an important shift, because Chiron, the wounded healer and the shaman, is moving out of Pisces, where he's been for a very, very long time and many years, and is moving into now the sign of Aries. Now, Chiron dipped into Aries last summer, 2018, for a couple of months and gave us a little taste of what that's about, and then retrograded back into Pisces, where he's been up until today, Monday the 18th, where he's going to be moving into Aries for quite a few years now. Now, it's going to be a very different feeling. Now, Chiron brings up our past life wounds, as well as our this life wounds, but a lot of our this life wounds results from some sort of previous incarnation circumstance. And with Chiron being in Pisces for that very long time, it was bringing up a lot of the collective wounds, the collective of humanity, the collective of different groups or cultures of people, because Pisces does rule the collective. Pisces is also the sign of the zodiac that rules the 12th house, the house of past lives. And so again, it was bringing up all this past life stuff, and it was feeling very emotional, and not just emotional, but it was bringing up wounds on a physical level, emotional, mental, spiritual. It was really running the gamut there. Now, not that it is not going to bring up wounds anymore, because now Chiron is shifting into Aries, but Aries has a different energy signature than Pisces. Aries is a fire sign, and so it deals more with the spiritual realm rather than the emotional water realm. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, so it deals with the self. Our sense of self, our sense of independence, our sense of self-identity, our sense of confidence, courage, taking charge of our lives, making things happen for ourselves. So it almost is now these wounds that are coming up regarding your sense of self and how you view yourself, or how you respect yourself, or again, you know, your sense of self-identity, and healing those kind of wounds. And because, you know, it's going to be there for quite a few years, but whenever a planet shifts from one sign to another, and, you know, that's where we feel the most intensity of it. So especially with the heavier, slower moving planets like Chiron, or like Pluto and Neptune and Uranus, they don't change signs very often, you know, and then even Saturn and Saturn especially sometimes takes a little bit of, 2.5 years before it goes through a sign into the next sign. So because Chiron is just now shifting into Aries, we're going to feel like an intensity, if you will, as it shifts into that sign. So definitely on or around Monday the 18th, we may be feeling that shift out of Pisces as it's trying to wrap up and heal and purge and release and transmute as much as that Piscean past life and or collective wounding as possible. Okay, now the last thing that happens on Monday the 18th is that Mercury, the planet that rules our mind, our thoughts, our ideas, our ways of communicating, is connecting with Neptune. And of course, Neptune is in Pisces, and this is where Mercury is as well. And in fact, Mercury is going to be in Pisces for a little bit longer than his normal stay in any particular sign, because he's going to go into a retrograde cycle in March in Pisces. But as he connects to Neptune, our communications can be potentially a little bit more confusing or lacking a sense of coherency or groundedness, but it can also bring in more of an intuition, because again, Mercury is the planet of the mind and Neptune is that spiritual, other dimensional kind of planetary energy where we're connecting with our guides and our angels and those on the other side. So you might find your mediumistic or clairvoyant or again other psychic abilities becoming stronger or heightened at that time. It's really going to be a good time for creative writing and using your imagination and meditating. Those are all good things for Neptune connecting with Mercury. Then on Tuesday the 19th, we have a full moon at 0 degrees Virgo. Now this is a supermoon, and a supermoon is when the moon is as close to the Earth, as it can be. There's what's called perigee and apogee with the moon and its cycle around the Earth. And sometimes it's further away from the Earth, and sometimes it's closer to the Earth. And of course, we know the moon affects the tides on the planet. It affects our emotions. So when we come up to a full moon, people become more emotional or emotionally reactive. It deals with the subconscious, the moon. So it brings up more of our subconscious patterns and whatnot. And with this being a supermoon, with the moon being very close to the Earth, it's going to have even more of an effect on us. Now, this means that the sun is in Pisces, of course, as I just mentioned. It just moved into Pisces on Monday. The moon is opposite Pisces in Virgo. That's what creates this full moon. So this 0 degrees, it's a critical degree. It's the first degree of any particular sign, is that 0 degree point. So that 0 degree point, because it's the first degree, is about new beginnings, but yet a full moon is about completion and endings and releasing. And so we're going to have endings and new beginnings tied into this particular full moon at 0 degrees Virgo. This full moon is going to be connecting to Mars, which has newly gone into the sign of Taurus. Remember when Mars was in Aries, his home sign, and kind of doing that dance with Uranus? Now he's moved into Taurus, and the full moon is making a positive connection to Mars. So this is, I don't know if I want to use the word stabilizing, but it's definitely a positive, uplifting kind of connection that it's connected with Mars, and Mars is more stable in the sign of Taurus, that earth sign. It's also making a connection to Uranus. Now Uranus is still at the 29th degree of Aries. So it's getting ready also, in a little bit here, a few days, it's also getting ready to shift into Taurus, but it's not quite there yet. So this full moon at 0 degrees Virgo is connecting with both Mars and Uranus. So there could be some potential for some interesting situations or circumstances unfolding or reactions from people. Again, emotional reactions, communications, because Uranus has that expect the unexpected kind of quality to it. On Friday the 22nd, Mercury is now moving forward in Pisces and is making a challenging connection to Jupiter. And Jupiter is the planet of expansion. He makes energies bigger, he makes things bigger, but he's also the planet of abundance and prosperity and blessings, as well as our belief systems. He's in his home sign of Sagittarius, so he's really strong there. And sometimes Jupiter in Sagittarius can really blow out of proportion people's belief systems to where they feel they're right and other people are wrong, and then there starts to be some judgment. And especially with Mercury in a challenging connection to Jupiter, you might find people communicating their thoughts and opinions a little bit more. And there's nothing wrong with communicating your thoughts and opinions as long as you're not judging other people while you're doing it. As long as you're still open to listening to other people's views on things. But with Mercury squaring Jupiter on Friday, there might be a little bit more judgment, a little bit more, a little bit more conflict with communication. And also because Mercury is in Pisces, there might be a little bit more vagueness or unclarity regarding what people are saying to one another. So it's good to reiterate because things can be miscommunicated, or things can be taken the wrong way when you really meant to say something one way, somebody else hears something else, and then it becomes, a miscommunication. Also on Friday the 22nd, Venus, which at the beginning of the week connected with Saturn, now Venus is connecting with Pluto. Pluto is also in Capricorn, and Pluto is that planet of power, control, transformation, death, rebirth, regeneration, and transmuting, lower energies. So Venus is again, the planet of love, relationships, finances, and money, but she's the divine feminine too. I mean, this is really a divine feminine energy with Venus. Connecting with Pluto, I feel like women or groups of women can be more empowered. And also you, if you're a woman, can feel more empowered on that day. Or conversely, there may be some power and control issues that women will be dealing with. But that is also going to be an aspect of transformation. So look for transformation to happen with the divine feminine, with women. Look for transformation to happen in your relationships. Look for transformation to happen in money or finance matters. So again, there's like a death and rebirth energy here that Pluto is bringing to Venus. Okay, the other thing that's going on just briefly this week is there's a lot of sextile energy aspects. And when two planets are sextiling one another, it's an aspect of opportunity. When you have an aspect of opportunity, you have to take action on it. Okay, so if you see a potential, you see an opportunity, you have to do something, take action on it, or the opportunity will pass you by. And on Monday, the Sun will be in a sextile to Uranus. On Tuesday, Mercury is in a sextile to Saturn. On Saturday, Mercury is in a sextile to Pluto. So just know that throughout the week, especially with Mercury being about communication, listen for messages or communications. Send in that email right away if you get something, from somebody, or if somebody calls you, call them right back. The Sun, again, with Uranus, can be about our sense of self and feeling like we're ready for a change. But if you don't make a move towards or take an action towards that energy of change, then that opportunity can pass you by. So these are some of the things that those sextile energies can bring about. All right, so let's take a look at what our angels and guides have to say. And this is one of my brand new decks. I got a few new decks, and you've seen this in the last couple of weeks in my readings. This is the first time I'm using the Angel Tarot here by Jane Wallace. So let's see. We have two cards that came out in the first position. So let's look at the first one. Okay, this is Major Arcana number 7, the Chariot. And this at the bottom says Angel of Guidance. Now, the Chariot card in the traditional tarot, just as it appears here, is usually seen by a man or someone in a chariot. In this case, we have this beautiful angel in the chariot. And the chariot is being led by two horses, which is traditional. One darker black horse and one white horse. Now, this is signifying kind of our higher soul self with the white and our ego or shadow self with the dark. And a lot of times, as in the image of this picture, the horses are looking away from each other and they're trying to pull the chariot in two different directions. So if you have two horses trying to pull a chariot in two different directions, what's going to happen? You're not really going to move forward. You're going to kind of be at a standstill. And so here with the chariot, what needs to happen is we need to kind of blend or merge our higher self and our shadow self. Accept the shadow self, accept those parts of you, those ego, shadow side to you, but also merge with and connect with your higher soul self and bring them into balance. They're both a part of you. They're both an important part of you, important part of us as human beings. We are here, we have egos, we live in the third dimension, but we're also, fifth dimensional and higher spiritual beings of the light. So we have to also tune into that God part of ourselves. If we can merge those two together and we can get them on the same page, the horses will be looking straight ahead, both in the same direction, straight ahead, and be able to pull that chariot forward. So here, this is saying you're getting ready to move forward with something. So you just have to bring yourself back into a sense of balance. We've come out of a pretty interesting time with January being with eclipses. Last week we had Mars coming up to Uranus, kind of bringing and activating some changes. And so now it's time to find our center, find our balance, get ourselves, moving in a direction basically, and move straight ahead with something. Let's see what the second card is that goes, see if it gives us additional information on the chariot. Okay, this is the King of Cups. And it's interesting because, we do have the sun moving into Pisces, that water sign, full of compassion. And at the bottom, this card says commitment. But the King of Cups, this is about being a leader or taking charge of our feelings and our emotions. This is a person or an energy within you to where you're feeling very confident and strong within your emotional body, within what you desire, within how you feel, and being able to express those feelings. You're not shying away from expressing them, but you're really, expressing your love. And that sun moving into Pisces, as I said, all about unconditional love and compassion and forgiveness and healing. And the King of Cups here is really saying there can be a wonderful, great healing here. Now, the message at the bottom says commitment. So we're making a commitment in an emotional way, and this could be to a relationship. This could be to a project that you feel emotionally connected to, but it does deal with the emotions. So you're making a commitment in some way on an emotional level to something. And because it came out with this card, you're making an emotional commitment to move forward. Here we have the angel of guidance trying to guide you, give you messages. Here we have the King of Cups to where you're really tuning into your feelings, your emotions, and what you desire in life, and getting ready to move forward towards that. So let's go ahead and take a look at the second card as we move throughout the week. The Magician, Major Arcana number 1, the Magician. And the message at the bottom says this is the angel of magic. Now, the magician traditionally, again, is someone who creates their own reality. They use these magical tools around them. And when I say magical tools, you're using your visualization, you're using your powers of manifestation, you're utilizing your creative self-expression, you're utilizing your psychic abilities, your healing abilities. And you can see the magician here has all these tools around him. He's got a sword, he's got a cup, he's got a pentacle, he's got a wand, he's got like a magic wand or something in his hand there. And so he's magically creating something new. Now, we are at a full moon, supermoon this week, and it is connecting in a positive way to Mars and Uranus, which again, Uranus can redirect. Uranus can bring something in quick and suddenly. It can awaken us. Mars is an activator planet, so he's activating something with this full moon, supermoon. And, I'm also led to say again that Chiron is moving into Aries, that shift that we're going to feel from Chiron moving out of Pisces and into that individual sign, that sign of self, Aries. And the magician is Major Arcana number 1, and number 1 is all about the self. Again, this is you taking responsibility and making things magically happen for yourself, okay? So you're creating, you're in this mode of creation. All right, so let's take a look at the last card for the week. Okay, we have the King of Pentacles, and the message at the bottom says generosity. Now we have 2 kings here. The King of Cups came out earlier, and the King is a court card. We have, of course, the Page, the Knight, the Queen, and the King, traditionally in the tarot. The King is the most mature of the energies, and so here we have 2 kings, the most mature of the energies. But the Cups was about our emotional bodies, our feelings. The Pentacles is about earthly things, such as money and finances, goals, career, life path, job, even potentially things to do with family, like, security of the home and things of that nature. And the King of Pentacles here is holding a pentacle, which means he's rich with blessings. The King, again, he's mature, he's worked long, he's worked hard to gain and materialize things on the 3rd dimensional plane. And the best way he can express his gratitude, if you will, for where he's gotten is by being generous to others. So, again, there's this idea of responsibility, and I'm led to think about, again, Venus connecting with Pluto on Friday, and Venus ruling money and finances, and Pluto being this powerful planet of transformation. So it could definitely be here that as we near the end of the week, that we're coming into some sort of manifestation of some sort of security. And I say it that way because it could be money and finances where there's a gift given, or offer to you, or promotion. This could also just be about blessings, though, the manifestation of some sort of blessings. And again, some sort of gift being offered. Now, sometimes we think of gift and blessings from the universe, but this is more tangible because it's the King of Pentacles, and Pentacles is a more tangible thing. So you're being given something tangibly. Maybe it's support or help. Maybe it's a promotion. Maybe it's a raise. Maybe it's, an actual, gift that's wrapped up with a nice little bow on it. But know that you're being given something here, and or you're supposed to take charge of your own financial nature, or your career, or your life path, or your destiny path. Again, this is about taking charge of something on the physical plane. And since we have two kings, we're really needing to kind of take charge. So, this reading, we have two major arcana cards. The Chariot, we're supposed to move forward. The Magician, we're supposed to create our own reality. The Kings are saying, take charge of your emotions, take charge of what you're doing, take charge of the actions you're taking to get to your goals. And I feel like, this is a good way to, work with that full moon, super moon that we have this week. So let's go ahead and take a look at the message from the Crystal Angel deck, depending on your stone of choice. So we're going to give this a little shuffle here. And for the people that chose the Moonstone, this one's calling my attention as I shuffle. So Moonstone people, Lapis Lazuli, life-changing epiphany or experience. And it says it's a time of big and blessed change for you, and God is supporting you each step of the way. So I feel like, they're talking about using your visualization this week. Whatever this life-changing epiphany or blessing or circumstance or situation that's coming in for you is, use your visualization during meditation. Use your imagination to see the end result of what it is that you want. Lapis lazuli is a stone of the third eye, and the third eye is where we're imagining, we're psychically seeing, we're intending through projecting an image, basically, through that third eye. So as you do that, I feel like this is going to help to speed up and bring in the blessings or the blessed change. The other thing is again, because it's the third eye, is like it says, there's a life-changing epiphany that's happening. Like you have an aha moment. You have like, oh my gosh, that's what this was all about. I never understood why I had to go through X, Y, and Z, but now it's becoming more and more clear. And I feel like that is, another message that could potentially be coming in for those of you that chose the Moonstone. All right, let's take a look at, for those that chose the Rhodonite, give this a little shuffle. For the Rhodonite people, the one on my forefinger here is calling my attention. Dolomite, stay strong in your faith. And it says a positive outcome is depending on you keeping a positive mindset. And so that was like the Magician card, positive mindset, your positive intentions are going to create your reality, your positive beliefs are going to create your reality. So the Dolomite here is talking about staying in a space of trust and faith to create your reality. Stay positive. Now, there's a lot of pink here, so I'm thinking you have to tune into the heart chakra, tune into the self-love, the self-nurturing, the self-respect, the self-care, and stay in a place of faith and trust, knowing that the universe loves you with that, again, that pink energy. The universe loves you and is going to deliver the most beautiful blessings that you could ever imagine. But you have to stay in a place of believing that. Okay, so if you stay in a place of believing that, there's wonderful things that are on its way for you. And then for those of you that chose the fire agate, let's give this a little shuffle. Fire agate people, this one's starting to pop up. We have kyanite. We were just talking about self-care. This one says, make time for self-care. It says, taking care of yourself is essential right now. Again, Chiron moving into Aries, sign of the self, self-respect, self-care, your self-identity, your self-confidence. So you definitely need to, and in fact, you could actually use kyanite. There's different colors of kyanite. I tend to like the blue kyanite. But all kyanite is a cleanser. It's a cleanser of your body, your physical body, emotional body, mental body, spiritual bodies. It transmutes lower vibrational energies to a higher vibration. So I feel like for you, you should find a piece of kyanite, meditate with it, sleep with it, carry it around to help to cleanse and release and transmute any lower vibrational thoughts, emotions, feelings, energies, circumstances, situations, etc. But again, also make time to take care of yourself. Do something for yourself. Get a massage. Take a nice relaxing walk out in nature. Have some alone time, kind of set good boundaries and say, I need some time to myself. Whatever that looks like for you, that's essential as you're transitioning into new energy with Chiron and the sun moving into new signs, and with this new full moon, super moon at 0 degrees of Virgo. And Virgo is a sign of service, but oftentimes Virgo gives service to other people and forgets to give service to themselves first. So that's a message that comes through as well. So I hope you've liked this weekly angel card reading. Thank you so much for liking my videos, sharing, commenting, subscribing to my channel, watching me on Facebook. For those of you that sign up for readings and whatnot, thank you so much. I send you all lots of love and light as you move forward through this month of February. And I'm sending you lots of angel blessings.